Today I'll show you how to automate order creation using Fillout forms and Shopify. We'll build a system inspired by a real company that needed a better way to handle their VIP and influencers orders. What makes forms perfect for this? When someone needs to create an order, a form ensures they submit exactly what you need. No missing shipping addresses, no invalid product SKUs, no quantities mistakes. You're giving them a structured way to submit orders where they can't mess up. Plus, since all submissions are captured in a clean, consistent format, you've got a perfect record for accounting purposes. Let me show how this works. I've built this form in Fillout where my team can select the SKU they want to send. They fill in the influencers information here. And when this is submitted, an order will land soon here in Shopify. This will take less than a minute. Let me refresh. And there you go. Order created with a specific tag so I can track this and be sure this is taken care of. Hi there, I'm Andres from Connex. We are an automations and integrations agency and we can help you automate your e-commerce. Do you have an integration need or an automation idea you want to discuss? Look in the link in the description below to book a free discovery call with us. So to build this automation, I'm going to use two applications. One is Fillout, which is the best form builder available today, and then Zapier, which is an automation platform. You can create free accounts on both and test this on your own. I'm going to show you how to build a form in Fillout first quickly and then how to implement this on Zapier. This will be the end result. And as you can see, we have only 4 steps, the trigger and 3 actions. The most important ones are the trigger, if this will trigger whenever there is a form submission, and then the action to create an order. There are a couple of other actions in between which function to find the customer and find the product by SKU. I'm going to get back to Zapier soon. Let's check Fillout first. Once you log in inside Fillout, the very first thing you want to click is this Make a Fillout, which is to create a form. We can start with a template or we can go with a blank form. Select the theme you want to use and then create form. Give it a name. And then you can drag and drop all your questions you want to ask. So for instance, we need address, which is a very important one, email, and then we can go with choices. We can do a multiple choice, a multi-select, or checkboxes or choice matrix. What I used specifically was picture choice, which gives me the ability to upload pictures. So this helps a lot whoever is filling this form to understand which item is this referring to. Let me show you the end result. So in this case, we have headers, and then this is the picture choice where the title of the picture is the SKU and the caption is the product name. Then we collect the name and the contact details of whoever is going to receive this order, and finally the address. Also, we can collect the shipment method and map it in Shopify as well. Notice that we can split this in multiple pages as well if you want. I just kept this simple, and the only thing I'm adding here is a thank you page that will redirect to my orders section in Shopify. So whenever someone submits this order, if they have access to Shopify, they will be able to see the orders tab, and after waiting for some seconds, they will see the new order popping in. That's all for Fillout. Whenever you're ready, don't forget to publish this, and so you'll have the link to share this with your team. The second piece of software we are using is Zapier. Zapier is the #1 tool to connect apps and automate your workflows. Basically, in a nutshell, Zapier works with events. Let me show you how. So once you log in into Zapier, you need to look for this orange button, hit create, and then Zaps. Whenever planning for automations, we usually go with the formula: when this happens, do that. So what we want is whenever someone submits that form, an order is created in Shopify. To do so, you need to map the triggers and actions accordingly. So for the trigger card, once you click it, you need to select Fillout, or whichever form builder you're using, configure it, and then the action is on Shopify to create an order. This is the final version of the Zap I've built, and it includes a couple of other actions like find product variant by SKU and find customer. Let me show you in detail how this works. So I start with new submission from Fillout, and for doing that, I selected app Fillout forms, trigger event, new submission. I connect my account and then hit continue. In the configuration tab, you need to select which form you are referring to, and then testing this trigger, it will Zapier will pull an existing form submission from Fillout, so you can understand what kind of field comes together. After that, you select continue, select the record, and the next important action is the create order in Shopify. Let me walk you through the create order first, and then we can talk about the other two actions later. So again, the application is Shopify, the action event is creating an order, and after you connect your Shopify account, you need to configure this. The action will ask you to fill in the email address of the customer, product quantity, product variant, so on and so forth. Also, you can set up at this stage what kind of discount and discount percentage. I put here 100% because I want these items to be shipped for free. And one important thing here is to select the tag accordingly so the team working on Shopify can understand what kind of order this is. Here I'm mapping the name and last name coming from the form, and for doing so you need to click this plus button on the side and then click for the trigger and look for that field coming from the trigger. So for example, you can click on first name, last name, and also construct strings by concatenating different variables. So I bring here all contact details from the trigger as well as the address, and that's all. For the product, I could be using the SKU directly in here, but I prefer to use a find product first in case I change the SKU in the future. Notice that Shopify has an ID for every product variant you have on your store. This number does not matches your SKU, but is a unique identifier for Shopify. You can usually find that ID number by going into products, selecting a specific product, and then looking at the URL. Usually is this last number. So what we do with this action is to finding for that ID in Shopify. So we are using the Shopify app, find product variant by SKU. Notice that you can have other find functions using Zapier as well, like finding by ID or product title. In the configurations tab, you need to input the SKU, and that's it. Zapier will respond back with all information coming from Shopify, like the product display name, the product ID, price, quantity, so on and so forth. When created the order, Shopify wants to know which the customer this is going to, and that's why I'm using the find customer action for Shopify as well. So you connect the Shopify application and the action event is find customer. To configure this, you want to use the email address, because sometimes people may misspell the name of the customer. That may happen with the email as well, but is less prone to errors. When finding a customer, sometimes that customer may not be on Shopify already. So that's why I checked this box to create a Shopify customer if Zapier wasn't able to find one. When you check this box, more fields will pop up that you need to fill by mapping the fields coming from the trigger as all the contact details and some marketing checkbox that you may want to edit as well. Once we have the product and the customer, when creating the order, you need to map those information in the action. So when creating the order, the product variant, we bring this ID coming from step 2. So if you are building this from scratch on Zapier, you could be selecting this statically, but what we want is to bring this dynamically from whatever option we choose on the form. To do so, we click the 3 dots on the side, click on custom, and then bring the ID coming from step 2. So we want to bring the product ID from step 2, but more importantly, we want to bring all values for shipping address from the customer from step 3. And that's it. Once you can hit continue and test this step, you will see the order being created in Shopify already. And the last step is to hit publish so your team can start creating orders from Fillout. Zapier is a very customizable. From here, there are a couple of ways you can make it your own and customize to your workflows. For instance, you could be using another form builder. Our choice of preference is always Fillout, but you could be using great tools like Jotform or even Google Forms. Also, if you have to talk with 3PL partners or other partners, or do you want to keep track in a different file about all orders submitted this way, you may want to create an Excel or a Google Sheets file and start bringing all this information into a separate spreadsheet. Finally, you may want to tweak this to allow for multi-line items submissions. And if you're having difficulties building this, you can always reach out. We're more than happy supporting you build this custom integration for you. Again, if you have any questions, drop a comment in the section below or book a free discovery call. Look using the link in the description. Cheers.